There's the 2 deck lists.
Yeah, I've got them pulled up. I'm just actually reading them now. Let's see what we got here.
Did I pull up a wrong deck list?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at what you. I just pulled it off the thing.
Oh, and I pulled up a Crane Dragon when I swore they were both Crane Scorpion.
They are both Crane Scorpion. The lists that I have are pretty much identical.
That's what I was expecting. Whose Crane Dragon did I pull up instead?
Yeah, they're just a couple cards off here and there in both decks.
Katai's by mistake? They're both Crane Dragon.
All right, so we're just waiting on Refbot to get in here.
Judge, which I don't know that we have a judge. So we'll just have to do double duty.
Yep, we'll keep our eye on it.
Should be interesting. Alright, looks like Refbot's getting his deck ready is what's going on.
Okay, cool. I mean, we're still 6 minutes before start time. This is just like a massive D12.
It's easy to read. Don't have to zoom in to read it. And it's twitch.tv/aggro.
Aggro_Craig.
Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. This way I can watch the chat too.
Yeah, if you turn off, if you go to like I think it's in the top right. You can do it. You can turn off beta. You can pop out the chat into like just a tiny window,
Yeah.
and so that's what I do.
I mean, I have two different screens.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've got
me
the
too.
game.
I just want like the game, the deck list, the chat, Discord. All right, hopefully just a couple more minutes for Refbot.
Yeah. Looks like the decks are almost exactly the same. Looking at these conflict decks.
Yeah, they run two different provinces. And then the only real notable difference between the two decks is the inclusion of I Can Swim for Eigensheep.
So Eigensheep has I Can Swim and has Charge.
You're cutting out.
Let me see here.
That's better. Looks like Eigensheep's just making some toys to play with while we wait.
Got to keep himself entertained somehow, right?
Yep. Use that as the first player marker.
I accept.
I'll allow it.
Keeps going in and out. Just watching it drop.
Yeah. I believe Travis Fights Dragons manages the TTS mod, and I don't know if he would have any opposition to Sirloin becoming the default first player token.
Yeah, have to ask him.
I'm sure he will be in this chat momentarily.
Yep.
every
The-
minute that we have to wait for Refbot, Sirloin gets bigger and we spawn another one.
I'm pretty sure he can't afford to buy those from his provinces. Pretty sure they cost 10 fate each.
All
All right,
right,
looks like Bot joined in.
yep, we
Should
got
be getting started momentarily.
we got our player. He just needs to select his color and load his stuff. It's hard to put a fate on Sirloin.
Apparently. Oh, he fell over. Now we know there's keeper initiates in the deck for sure.
Well, we knew that for sure anyway, since deck lists are shared.
It's not often you see it come out upside down. So, what are you expecting to see here between the two Crane players?
Um, I don't know. I have not ever seen a crane mirror. I've got to imagine that they're gonna hard mulligan, looking for Way of the Crane.
Yeah, just get more honored characters so that you can voice of honor and that they can't.
Yeah, I think whoever can get their Voice of Honors on is probably gonna win the game.
It's also important to know that has two Forged Edict, where Refbot only has one. So Eigencheap actually has one more in his deck. And here we go, getting set up.
All right. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch the mulligans here. I think that's gonna be a big tell. If somebody keeps their whole hand, that's probably a real good sign. Even more so in the mirror than it usually is. Just because I think you have to mulligan for those Voice of Honors or something that can at least turn on that honor tech.
Yeah. So probably looking for a savvy politician then in their dynasty and Way the Crane in their conflict. That way they can bounce the honor.
Yeah, that would. I mean, I think that's the ideal start for this matchup.
And I mean, I think that gives the advantage to first player because if both of them find it, first player gets the first chance to go and honor their characters. And then if they've got the Voice of Honor, can stop the second player from honoring theirs.
Correct. Or you also have to consider holding a courtier on your dynasty deck if you're running the Forged Edicts, because if you hit one of those and don't have a courtier, that's also sad.
Refbot here claiming he's running Honor Rocket.
All right, looks like we're finished with the initial setup. Now it should just be mulligans and go. As soon as Refbot actually puts some cards on his provinces. Not sure what the holdup is here.
Me either.
Keeps hovering his fate. They're getting voice chat going.
Yep, it looks like they're all in the channel, so it shouldn't be much longer. And it looks like we've got Void Circuit here to judge the game.
Yeah, hopefully this is a little bit less of a technical match than we saw last game. That had a lot of really intricate things going on. Some really interesting questions were raised.
Not filling provinces is the key to Honor Rocket victory, as Icon Sheep says.
It's true.
All right, let's see.
All right, should mulligan here now.
Looks like full mulligan
Yep.
from Refbot.
Just as we predicted, aggressive mulligan strategies here coming out. Mirrors tend to highlight draws a little more. They highlight skill, definitely, and they highlight the draws a little bit more than just a regular match. So getting that good opener can put you in the right position. And here we see Iron Sheep mulliganing 3, so 7 of the 8 cards were mulliganed.
So the question is, which one card was not mulliganed? And what led to keeping it?
Alright, now let's see the hands. Refbot drawn on the old-fashioned way.
The time. I know the shortcut.
Alright, 3 from Refbot, and 2
Grabbed his
from
entire
Iron Sheep.
deck. The shortcut is so much nicer.
For those of you who play Tabletop Simulator and do not know the shortcut, it is literally just the number key. So if you press 4,
That you want to draw.
then you will draw 4 cards.
All right. So it looks like on Refbot we see Kaizen, Imperial Storehouse, uh, Ashina Artisan, and Guest of Honor. And on Eigensheep we have Asami, Doji Whisperer, Brash Samurai, and an Artisan as well.
So I'm gonna guess that the Brash Samurai was the card that was kept here.
Yeah. Um, now I think I saw him putting that one out. I think the Asami was the one I didn't see get replaced on Eigensheep. So maybe he's hoping to steal some honor.
Yeah, I don't know. They got mixed up there, so I lost track of which one was which.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna matter since they both get played. So Eigensheep opts to develop a cheap board that will stick around, and Refbot goes for an expensive board that will not.
Yep, character sticking around is super important.
Yeah, that Guest of Honor, if Refbot could have gotten that to stick around, that would have been a huge pain. 4-4, so they both are trying to see a bunch of their deck. My guess is we'll see the bids be relatively high throughout this game. Neither one is really going to win via honor or dishonor in this matchup. And so they both just want to make sure they're getting as many cards as their opponent without putting themselves in a really bad spot.
Right. So I'm letting Refbot here know that he can just hit the number key to draw that many cards. That way he's not drawing them one at a time.
Yeah, I drew my
Speed
cards
up the
one at a
game a little bit.
time for a while, and then I learned the number key, and my life improved. There's no conflict.
It's just a threat. Hey, I have this. Beware.
Looks like they got snuffed out real quick. So I expect we'll see an assassinate coming out from Refbot this turn.
Yeah, assassinate that samurai before he can honor himself, maybe?
Yeah, but actually, that's actually a pretty gross tip from Refbot because now the samurai can just be declared on defense, and as long as he's not defending against the guest of honor, he can use his first action to honor himself, and then the assassinate could be canceled.
And that's just painful.
Yeah, I think that was very unfortunate for Refbot that he got a little antsy with that.
All right, we see Political Earth with the guest of honor. Full display. Oof. All right, so who do you think is going to be the defender here, knowing that Shameful Display is the province?
So the hard thing here is with that assassination tip. Anything that puts in here is basically going to get undefended unless he puts two things in here. Because even if he does shameful display to honor a character and turn on voice of honor, with the guest of honor in the conflict, you could not play that event.
True.
So yeah, so this is actually um, a really interesting spot.
And I mean, it may not go undefended here because he could use the assassination on a character at home.
Yeah, he could, but it's gonna do the same thing, and you're still solo breaking here if this goes undefended. So I feel like you assassinate here, that gets rid of that honored character, because either way you do it, an honored character is gonna stick around.
And there we go. So now we've got 3-0. We'll clear out the Sasami.
Yeah. So the reason that assassinate goes through, no matter what is in Eigensheep's hand, is because of the guest of honor. So he cannot play events while guest of honor is in the conflict, which is gonna be a really key card here for Refbot. Which is why I'm surprised he didn't put a fate on it.
He didn't have the fate to do so. The shameful display break and Asami get
He
discarded.
he didn't have the fate because he chose to pay 3 for Kakita Kaizen. I think I would have rather seen a guest of honor with a fate on it and then the Asahina Artisan come out for Refbot's opening. But I also don't play Crane, so.
And it looks like Way of the Crane got discarded to the Earth Ring here.
That's a really good pull. That's exactly what you hope for on a turn 1 Earth conflict in this mirror. Well, that
Yep.
or one of the cancels.
So let's see here. Does decide to defend. I'm not sure why. Because you could just bow the Artisan with your Stronghold. And then have Kaizen to attack back versus the Brash Samurai.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it went down like that either.
So Kaizen should have just stayed at home. He could have swung back military, and either Brash Samurai defends, or if there's any way for the Crane player to honor, or even just a fine katana, Kaizen can get another possible break. So I don't think defending here was necessary. Another assassination comes down. Maybe not.
Yeah, so the reason that assassination can't come down is because if you see here, assassination is max once per round. So playing that assassination was again illegal. So Refbot is continuing to tip his hand here.
Now he's going to lose this Manicured Guardians as the Brash Samurai honors himself.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he defended. I guess he was worried about the Asahina Artisan honoring, but I feel like you make her honor first before bowing her. Because if he had a stronghold up, I guess it's military, so it doesn't matter because it's on political only. Ignore me. So we've seen 2 breaks in the first turn.
Yep, one on each side. These players continue to be. Refbot just fixing his provinces and the cards in them. Using an honor for unopposed. The guest of honor goes away.
Yep, and he loses another honor because she's dishonored.
So down 6-12.
Yeah,
We know
so
he's getting it.
yeah, the assassinate means that we have to see Refbot probably hold his bid back here if he wants to assassinate. And I think he probably does if he wants to get back on top of honored characters.
But I mean, a voice stops that assassination pretty easily. 200 characters to none.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So we see another Kaizen come out, a Sepun Guardsman, and a Doji Whisperer on Refbot's side, as well as another Storehouse.
We got a Daidoji Narishma, an Artisan Academy, and two Doji Challengers, which is pretty much exactly what Eigensheep wants to see.
Two Doji Challengers with one fate each is all of his fate.
Yeah, I don't think you play both of them this turn. I think that's the right call here. Just to stick out one, put two fate on it.
And then he can bring out Narishma with one fate as well if he wants.
Or just bring him out for two. Nope, he's going to fade him.
And we've got a Doji Whisperer with one fate from Refbot. And I imagine Kaizen's probably going to come out since he's on that broken province.
Yeah, I think you have to put Kaizen with like two fate. And then maybe then, depending on your hand, look at the Sepun Guardsman.
Consider the Guardsman as a possible defender. And it looks like Kaizen with one. Now, I've got to imagine that there's at least a voice of honor in the hand of Eigensheep here. So I don't think that assassination is going to be worthwhile at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky play, especially from 6 honor.
Yeah.
Because you do pay the cost before things get canceled.
We see a 1 to 4 bid. So it'll be 9 to 9 on honor.
Yep, looks like it.
So now that assassination doesn't look as bad, but
No, but with Eigensheep
definitely
drawing
gotta
4
imagine.
cards, I would be shocked if he did not have some sort of cancel in his hand.
Well,
He
it
can't.
has to be a
Yeah.
voice of honor because he doesn't have any courtiers.
Yep.
And this could get edict because the Whisper is indeed a courtier.
It could get edict, but Refpot only runs one edict if I'm not mistaken. His splash is 1 edict, 2 calling in favors, and 3 fiery madness. Whereas Eigensheep opted for 2 edicts, 1 calling in favors, and then the 3 fiery madness, as well as an I can swim. So anything that Refbot does to dishonor himself puts him into that I can swim territory.
And I don't know. Do you voice of honor that way of the crane? I don't think you need to, but you definitely could.
I probably wouldn't. I'd let it go because it doesn't turn off your voice of honor. Even after this round, he has to honor something else to turn his voice of honors on. It will turn yours off if you don't honor something here. And honestly, Kakita Kaizen is not the scariest duelist.
He's just like, everybody go home. I want to do this by myself.
Yeah, so he turns on some good plays, but overall he's a big stat box now. But I don't think you have to be worried about large stat boxes with a board advantage of this size.
Oh, and the Artisan Academy turned over a fan, so that's going to be good when needed. So playing this Steward of Law actually turns off Forged Edict. Going for a Void conflict. Well,
Yeah, your Steward of Law can get bowed here, but you're not playing it for the stats. You're playing it for that ability because right now Refbot has 0 cancels turned on.
yeah.
And it is going to be important to note here that Steward of Law says a character cannot become dishonored, not they cannot be dishonored. So Shameful Display can remove the honor from the Doji Challenger here.
Yep. And this will actually turn off Voice of Honor if he throws in that Whisperer.
Yes, it will turn off. Uh, will turn off Voice of Honor, but Steward of Law. Oh no, because Edict's off. Yep. So if he comes in and triggers Shameful Display, both players can play things without fear of cancels.
So yeah, bring the Whisperer in here, get her honored, dishonor the Challenger. You may concede the conflict, but turn
And then,
on all of your actions.
do you assassinate the Brash Samurai? We've seen it here because that would turn your Voice of Honor on because you know it will get through if you trigger Shameful Display here on one of your characters that is not currently honored.
It's got to be the Whisper since it's political, because the Guardsmen can't come in.
Yeah.
Oh, no defenders. Not sure on that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I wonder if he'll realize that he can still Shameful Display to honor the Steward of Law and dishonor the Doji Challenger. It doesn't turn off Voice of Honor, but it removes some stats from the. What?
Challenger brought in Kaizen.
Okay, okay.
So now he can dishonor the Challenger and honor Kaizen again. It won't turn on her,
Yeah.
but
I don't know why. I'm curious as to why the Doji Challenger pulls Kaizen in here. Because you're breaking without pulling him in.
yeah, to stop him from
He turns off
an
your
attacker.
he turns off your Voice of Honors. Yeah, I guess you get an attacker, but he could also. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Court games, honor the Challenger. Wrong pile. So, I mean, if Kaizen wants to go home, he could duel here and try and lose.
Yeah, but
Uh,
but you just bid one if you're Eigensheep, and so it's just gonna push, and the duel is gonna fizzle.
so you have to find some way to give give the Challenger one more military so that you can bid one and then lose.
Yeah, I don't know what you do here.
So it's also the fan can come onto this challenger, and that will get the break still, even with Kaizen being in.
That's true.
So, and we do see the fan come in. So Refbot's going to respond by using the storehouse. Maybe draw a fan of his own.
Yeah, that I was forgetting about the pocket fan. I agree with chat here that the pull is fine, since you have that fan sitting on top of your deck.
Yeah, and I mean, bringing in Kaizen, tagging, definitely good.
Yeah, if you can break with Kaizen here, or break the shameful display with Kaizen in the conflict, that's definitely optimal.
And looks like we do see a duel here, and we'll probably see 1-to-1 bids.
Yeah, I can't imagine that uh, either player cares, or I can't imagine Eigensheep cares. Rather, I'm sure Refbot would love to go home.
Does he run contingency plan? Can drop it to 0 so he goes home?
He does not run contingency plan.
Yeah, I mean, because that would be the play anyway, since he's breaking this with Kaizen in this conflict, but no contingency plan, so can't do that. So 1-to-1 here is going to happen, and no one wins, no one loses.
Yeah, because the other thing that could have happened there that would have been really interesting would be if Kaizen paid. Oh, never mind, never mind. Nope, I'm reading cards incorrectly. I'm trying to think of if there's anything Refbot could do. He's got so many cards.
If he had a katana, he could have given it to the doji challenger to go home, but that wouldn't be good.
No, Kaizen did not die. I don't know. He lost, or the duel fizzled, and then Kaizen got a fate taken from him via the void, and he went homebound.
All right. So I definitely think I can at an advantage here.
Yeah, I mean he's got all of his cancels on. He's got a board advantage, and his board is gonna the board that he has sticking around is better than the board that Refbot has sticking around.
And it's 2 breaks to 1 break right now. We still have a military challenge coming from Eigensheep, and he's got a samurai and Narishma that he can attack with.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Refbot choosing not to fate either the Kaizen or the Guest of Honor first turn probably put him in a pretty big hole here. I think I would have liked to see him play one of those two and put some fate on them, and then play his lower cost character rather than play both of those out onto the board for a single turn.
The political water challenge to meditations on the Tau. So with this whisper going in, so he's definitely intending on readying Kaizen with this water ring, and it looks like it's going to be 3-3 here.
So first action, huh? Oh no, yeah. So it's three, yeah, 3-3. We're gonna see that fate come off of the Doji Whisperer. which means Refbot's
And it
lingering
only
board will be the Sepun Guardsman.
so and it's also important to know that this brash samurai can get +3 political from the artisan.
Yep, he can. I expect that will be the play here. Yep.
And so that way he doesn't lose this and Kaizen doesn't ready.
And you gain a fate for successfully defending water as keeper of the water.
Yeah, I always forget that Crane is keeper of water because I'm just like, why? But yeah, F8 here is good. Oh, admit defeat. I have to imagine this gets voiced. One honored
Oops.
character to 3 honored characters, so this has to be voiced. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, yeah. That either edict or voice had to be coming in there.
Yeah, I think you use voice while you can over edict.
Um, Probably, just because it's a lot easier to have a courtier on the board than it is to have more honor than your Crane opponent.
At least in the mirror, and maybe against Lion.
Yeah, Lion does have a pretty decent time turning off that voice.
Yeah. So I consistently have a few characters on the honored when I play Lion. Ooh, assassination.
So does that signal to you that um, Iron Sheep does not have another cancel in hand?
If he's letting that happen,
Yeah, I feel like you cancel that if you have it.
they pay 3 honor and nothing happens.
Yeah, and you're still winning the conflict because here, now this Kaizen's gonna ready, and you get broken. When you could have canceled and ended up gaining a fate on the back end of that.
It
When
definitely would have been
you've
good.
already broken 2 provinces.
Yeah, not having that second cancel for that, I think, was huge. Yeah, I think this puts at a bit of an advantage for this turn. Um, if we swing in with Narishba, he defends with the guardsman, and then has Kaizen to come in for another possible break. Um, so I think Eigen Sheep should save Narishma for defense.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can risk swinging here. I mean, you still get broken if he has another admit defeat or something like that. But if you swing, you're pretty much going to get solo broken by Kakita Kaizen, I think.
So, I mean, you could dishonor him so that he needs some assistance to solo break with Kaizen, but I'm not sure that's worth it.
But what are you going to dishonor him with? That's going to be a military conflict. And you're not going to have a courtier involved.
You don't need a courtier if you can win that fire ring. So if you go fire ring, he defends with Kaizen, that's still a win for you.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I see that. Looks like he just passed it.
Being a military air come from Refbot. Gotta imagine that both Kaizen and the guardsmen will be. the Art of Peace. So this breaks, honors Nerishma, dishonors Kaizen, dishonors that Sepun guardsman, and turns Voice of Honor back on for Eigensheep.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing that he could have hit here, but it looks like he's going to be able to prevent the break, or at least trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want the break here because then it's 3 breaks to 2, with Refbot going first next turn. On cold.
Yeah, you definitely don't want the break here, but also Refbot's board is clearing except for a Sepun Guardsman.
And a dishonored one if he lets this break.
Correct. So, like
And
I
then
said, not the worst thing that could happen here, but if you can save it, you save it.
manages to save it. Takes favor as well. Or Refbot takes favor here.
Yep.
Oh, 2 rings to 1. And Refbot will gain 2 honor from his 2 characters leaving. And Eigensheep will gain 1. I want into the wrong discard pile. Happens all the time. All right, so we're 2 breaks to 2 breaks, and we've got an honored Doji Challenger and a Daidoji Narishma with a katana versus a Sepun Guardsman. And Artisan Academy's gonna stay there, it looks like. And we flip another Doji Challenger, a Keeper Initiate, and a Kaizen on Eigensheep's side. And we see Hataru flip over, an Imperial Storehouse, and a Daidoji Narishma, and a Doji Whisperer.
So it's actually a really good flop here for Refbot, I think.
That champion, always a good flip.
Yeah, because it is also important to note that Eigensheep is running in transposition, so I've got to imagine that's what's underneath his stronghold. Whereas Refbot is running ancestral lands.
Yep.
So we see the second Doji Challenger come out with some fate.
So will we also see Kaizen come out with no fate? And then I imagine that we're gonna see either the Savvy come in and the Whisper, or just Hataru. Of the Imperial Storehouse already.
Yeah, with him needing to break 2, I don't know that he can afford to bring in Hataru and the Politician and just let his board wipe this turn. So I think probably he wants to bring in Hataru with some fate.
Yeah.
I think that's the better play for him because he needs a beater on the board, I think. He's got first attack, so he can make use of Hataru before she gets pulled in by the challengers.
Yep, and there we go. We see Hataru come in. Are you expecting 1 or 2 fate?
I don't know his hand. You definitely go 1. Oh, he's going 1 and pulling in the Doji Whisperer.
All right. To 4.
Yeah, so there's a couple good options here. If Hotaru swings in on the water ring, it prevents it could prevent the Eigensheep from being able to claim the water ring and get his keeper initiate out. And if he double resolves it, he could bow Nirmarishma and Kakita Kaizen.
Yeah, I think Kaizen goes in that case, though.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But that's also if you're pulling all that into like a political conflict, I think that's fine since you don't have a military to defend against all of this military strength coming out from Eigensheep. So making him use a bunch of it to defend a political attack, I think, is fine. But yeah, so that's a good option. The firing is a good option. If you could double honor your people, then that, or I guess dishonor the Doji Challenger and honor um, one of your characters, that turns Voice of Honor on for you and off for your opponent. The Void Ring to get this Doji Challenger off the board next turn um, is okay. I don't think that's the best play. Not for the first attack. I guess if you're pulling two, you could pull one off the Doji Challenger and then one off the other Doji Challenger. That makes it a little more valuable.
One off of each challenger.
Yeah, I think because you have to go with Hataru first here. Otherwise, she's getting pulled in on defense by the challengers. So you need to be trying to think about what ring can you get the most mileage from triggering twice, and then yeah, especially with an honor on her.
Voice of Honor to stop that.
Surprisingly, no. It looks like
Right. Honored Hataru versus Honored Challenger.
I know who I'd pick.
Depends on whether it's military or political. I think the challenger could still pull out military, but no way they'd pull out political. All right, we do see a water ring with Hataru and the Whisperer, so that's going to be 12
I don't know
political
about
strength.
I don't know about this because you need a break here. If you break without claiming the fire ring on Art of Peace, then you're just turning your Voice of Honor back off. And then yeah, of course they're just going to defend with the two guys that you would bow anyway. So you're going to get no value off of this ring here. And by breaking Art of Peace, you're going to put yourself in a nice hole.
So I think going at the other province, which they were probably expecting to be Rally, and they just didn't want it to get flipped to Terry's because they wanted to resolve it twice.
Yeah, but if you're gonna come at Art of Peace, I think you have to come with the fire ring here. Yeah, you're forcing the conflict to play out this way, but also you're absolutely just turning off your Voice of Honors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a no net gain. I think hitting here, if they break this, Kaizen and Narishma getting honored and Hataru and Doji Whisperer getting dishonored, you're getting your courtier dishonored, so Forged Edict gets turned off. Your champion goes off, so Voice of Honor uh, turns off for you and turns on for your opponent, or stays on for your opponent. No, it was off right now.
It was off, now it's on.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty large swing.
It looks like disappeared somewhere. Fine katana.
Right, but Refbot could have turned it on for himself. Or at least kept Forged Edict on.
But leaving the Whisperer at home.
Not even leaving her at home. I mean, if you break and then um, you re-honor the Doji Whisperer with the Fire Ring, then Forged Edict is still an option. Right now, you don't have a courtier to dishonor.
It looks like Refbot is asking Joe from Cincinnati if that was an example of an overcommit. If you're watching, can you let us know?
Um, I don't know that it was necessarily an overcommit. This is interesting from Eigensheep. I think I would go in with the non-honored challenger, and if he doesn't defend, pull in Narishma on military, and then that way um, you're one with the honor, and the fan can solo break on political, since the guardsman won't be able to defend, and the guardsman probably is not gonna solo break uh your entrenched position.
Right. Maybe he's expecting him to defend, and then he's just going to pull in the other character.
Yeah, but if that happens, I think you want to do that with the other Doji challenger on
Yeah.
military, and then solo break with your loaded one.
Yep. And Academy hasn't been used this turn, right? So we still have that on deck.
Correct. I wonder if he was worried about meditations on the Tao, but with two fate, you shouldn't really be. Oh, this guy has a fate on him too, so that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think I would have attacked with the non-honored one
Yeah.
here first.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because you come in military, if he flips it to political with rally to the cause, then you can pull in Narishma and bow it.
Yeah. Looks like he's not going to flip it though, because he's going to defend with his guardsmen. So I think you pull in Narishma.
That becomes scary because then you're okay. Yeah, with the katana, you probably do.
A tie is still you winning.
Yeah, but pulling him in ties it, and Refbot still has a handful of cards.
I mean, so does Eigensheep though, and Eigensheep has Voice of Honors that can fire.
Maybe he let the Hotaru become honored when he had Voice of Honor online.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's. Oh, okay.
Admit defeat and then pull in
Yep.
Narishma.
Yep. I think that's a good call.
Or take the break and don't pull in Narishma. Or actually, pulling in Narishma still breaks. So
Yeah, and ultimately you have to win the void here, because if you pulled the fate off Hataru, this is huge for Eigensheep. But you can do that
yeah,
with Nourishment in the combat, I think.
what you have to do is win to remove Hataru.
And he has no fate to play that steward.
Yep. And He's really good at showing his hand, though. He wants us to know it's there.
Yeah, I think you pull, especially when you bow here. When you bow the guardsman, there's no reason not to pull Narishma in here
You're still breaking at 7-3,
because then
and
because then you can poke with Doji Challenger um, as your last conflict. The second Doji Challenger, you can poke Stronghold, so you know exactly what you're dealing with, and then you get first action next turn, and his board clears still.
we'll have 2 challengers on the board. One of them honored, and with a fan and a katana.
Yeah, and to win that, really the important thing was to make sure he wins the Void Ring, and it's super difficult for Refbot to win that with just a single Narishma and an empty Fate Bowl.
Totally expected the firing here, which is exactly what we see, because we want to honor this last challenger, so that the next turn you have 2 honored challengers staying, and you're going first.
So
And this is
here,
entrenched, right? Oh no,
no, it's
ancestral.
Ancestral Lands, which should not be a tall order for this board from Eigensheep next turn. But Eigensheep should totally flip his Academy. We'll see a good omen come out.
That happen?
It cannot, right? Oh, if you bid lower, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's 5-4. So yeah,
All right, so he's just gonna try to solo break here with a bonsai.
bids were tied this round, but they were not. So that's 5.
Did he kick it? So it's 7. So he's currently breaking because of the bonsai. I think that's GG's from Refbot.
Yeah, GG. All right. Of honor.
Yeah, so we did not have a cancel in the hand
Against,
of Eigensheep. We had 1 for Refbot.
but he couldn't use it because he had less honored characters.
Yep.
And for shame look like so similar. But yeah, each player has 2 force shames and 1 court game. All right. Well, that was a nice quick game.
Yeah, and I
So,
I think honestly that game just kind of pivoted on that first turn decision by Refbot to not build a lasting board.
and then getting his board wiped again by the Void Ring. So if you can't keep your board around, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, I think it was just he was hungry for Fate most of the game, and it ended up showing that final round where you had a big established board versus kind of just some small pieces that you had kept around, and then a Hotaru, and the Hotaru can only do so much on her own.
All right, looks like they're having fun just pulling everything out of their discards, making the board a big giant mess. Probably getting ready to flip the table. All right, I should make sure this game gets reported.
All right, I think that's all we have for today. The Eigensheep will move on to the next round. Refbot will be eliminated. 1 crane down, 1 crane up.
And I'm pretty sure someone owes me $1,000 because I'm pretty sure I had $1,000 writing that Crane lost this game, and they did. So I believe
Well,
someone owes me some money.
I'll pay you out of my $1,000 that I had riding on Crane winning this game.
Sounds like a deal.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. This will pretty much go up into my past streams instantly, and then I'll try to clip that like the first 10 minutes out where we were waiting on Refbot and get it up to YouTube sometime today. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me for commentary. And I will see you guys
Streaming.
next time. Yep. Have a good one.